Look at our leaders who, when they are seeking to serve us, when they are seeking our support, they are humility personified. They kiss babies. They go to the shebeen. They drink from dirty cups. They walk on foot. They smile with us. They take photos with everybody. They discard their security. They are humility personified. They speak the language that we want to hear. They do the things that they think we want to see them do. They delude us. They cheat us. And somehow we accept that they are leaders. But immediately they get what they want. Oh, they have a reverse Pauline conversion. If they were Paul, they go back to being Sauls. And we can no longer recognize them. When you ring them, their phones are picked by somebody called a PA, whose only claim to fame that he is rude beyond measure. When you go to the offices, they no longer want to see you. When they are driving in the streets, their sirens scare you. While I suspect that those who discovered the siren meant that it should be used for good purposes, for them it is a badge of honor, and they harass us in the streets. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. These are the men that we have.
Good morning and welcome to the state of education in our nation. It is your global TV group and your program At a Glance. If you are on the Greenwich and London Mean Time, good afternoon. If you're on the Eastern timeline, good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Let me go to my bits and pieces here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to my community of parity and all my family members. Good morning to all my moderators, my platform membership holders and subscribers, viewers and commenters. Good morning. Patrick Evans, good morning. Natalia Freeman, good morning. Real Sweet, good morning. Beulah, good morning and welcome. Debbie Jervis, good morning. Good morning, Marcia Este, good morning. Good morning to Sunshine, Yvonne Johnson, good morning. Patricia Matthews, how are you? Good morning. Beat and Teach, Wagwan. Jason Kane, morning. Paula Shelley, good morning. Violet Watson. Janet Riley, rather, good morning. Gloria Morris. Noreen Robinson. Tony Tall. E.M. Lassam Riley. Patricia Williams. Jason Kane, Abina Sarkodi. Inner Circle, good morning all. Annie Jones. Mary Messenger TV. Thank you for becoming a member to the global TV group, Mary Messenger TV. Thank you very much appreciated. Mitchie, good morning. Norman Ferguson, good morning. Good morning, JC, good morning. Marlene Garden, good morning. Annie Jones, good morning. Kirk Edwards. Good morning. Denise Hall, Carlin Jones. Good morning, all, and welcome. I'm sure you're all aware, True Love, good morning, of a video of a recent school brawl, I think at the halfway tree bus place there, but started at a school. Crime and violence is getting out of hand nationwide. It is the same pattern in our schools nationwide, but more so in the corporate area. The school brawl is a new thing. School brawl used to be in a few generation too. But it wasn't so bitter and vile and vitriolic, the ones we're seeing now, where children are being regularly knifed. Every McRae, how are you? Children are being regularly knifed on school compound or on their way from school. Systems, government, Ministry of Education and Ministry of National Security, Jacqueline Murray. Systems needed to be put in place. All of you talking about, because even in the education philosophy, they might talk about fostering this and fostering that. And remember the whole bullcrap that Faval was speaking the other day. But at no level in our country, neither national, in the schools, community, there isn't a major argument of how we're going to deal with crime. They're always talking about fostering peace, but no initiative of how we're really going to deal with crime as it continues to escalate in our country. It is becoming a major problem in our schools. The video that is circulating cannot be shown in public because, one, it's to do with children. Two, it's very graphic. The village is no longer interested in raising the child, because too often you see adults just stand aside, watch these brawl unfolding without very little intervention. But before we go further this morning, I want to play a video for you that I came across and then give a slight explanation further. But this video is in regards to a gentleman who was deported from the United Kingdom here. He's saying that he has family still in the United Kingdom here in the Ilford area. We more refer to that as the East London side. So I will play the video, Monica Hawthorne, just in case someone knows him in the UK here or know his family member and could reach out.
I'm from Hackney, Morning Lane, East London. I got deported from the United Kingdom. I lived in Hackney. I used to work for Carrefour Warehouse for at least 10 years. Wow. Yeah, I was a very good salesman. Sorry about the look, but this is how I am. My family, my mom, my dad, my twin sisters, Shanice and Chantel, Richard, Nathan, Justin, all live in Ilford, Barkingside. I miss them loads.
Oh dear.
Please, I have a book called Deporting Black Britons, Portraits of Deportation to Jamaica. It's by Luke Denahora. Please type in the book. Please buy the book. The The book is the 21st century. I'm the ghostwriter. My name is Jason in the book. Buy the book. 60.
Good morning. Good morning. Here I am in New Kingston, and I met this lovely man, Melvin. Imagine, mental breakdown is real. A gentleman who lived in the United Kingdom for many, many years got deported to Jamaica, and this is what happened. Never you judge anyone, because this could be you, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, walking down the street. A very intelligent man. Listen to me. When I tell you I had to stop and have a conversation.
Thank you for the lady for stopping, but also condolences to her friend Marie.
My sister.
You know, I just looked on the back of her car, and it brought tears because it said flowers in our hearts.
Oh God.
Let's find his family.
Right. Luke Dinahora. I know who Luke is. I will try to reach out to him. Maybe he can. Luke possibly, not possibly. Luke would know of his case, because Luke does. How I came across Luke is when we were doing these fight against these automatic deportations. So I was assisting administratively on an particular immigration, one of the deportation cases, Cornell C. And Luke is a person who a massive part of his PhD was done in Jamaica to do with the whole deportation issue. He does what is called, for us on this side, a country expert report. He does reporting on the crime situation in Jamaica, how deportees are viewed in Jamaica, how they are treated, how society view them as deportee if they are like gay people and things like that, the type of treatment they would receive, the lack of service that exists for them in Jamaica. Most of them end up in Jamaica, end up living on the street, or end up having severe mental health problem, or a lot of them also end up in crime. So what Luke does is comprehensive country report, and that is submitted as part of evidence in immigration cases, along with other reports to say to the government and the Home Office that this person's life will be much worse. And I think it's Article 3 comes into here, where you would be subjecting the person to degrading treatment. Torture probably wouldn't apply here, but in the Article 3, it deals with torture, degrading treatment, and all of that. So oftentimes when Article 3 is used in immigration cases here to do with deportation, it's more to do with the degrading treatment that one would be subjected to, because they are a deportee. Some of them do not have contact with the country. They may have left there as a child. Most of their relatives don't live in Jamaica anymore. They have never been back to Jamaica. So these are the type of work that Luke does. So Luke would be quite aware of him. I have not communicated with him. We've never met in person, but we've communicated a few times based on all of us struggling with the immigration and deportation issue in this country. So maybe Luke would be a good person to do a research on his family contact in the UK. So I will definitely try and reach out to him and get that video to him. But I want to say to Miss Lady, because I'm not in the reading mood this morning, to be honest with you people, but I see Miss Dana Morris Dixon come out and defend NIDS because she said some information is circulating, which it looked like somebody write one new rule overnight. And she sought to make it clear that no, it won't be mandatory. The court already says it has to be on a voluntary basis. Even though the court says that, we cannot trust this government to maneuver around this thing when it comes to services. Plain truth. Good morning, Annie Simit. We cannot trust this government because this government has never hold true to anything that they utter. So you running come out, don't give we no joy, and we don't really believe you, because when Nigel come like a Lord and Savior. Nigel came bright and shiny, sparkling. Look at Nigel now. Delroy Henry. Look at Nigel now. Lilith Foster. Half the time, when the Labour people run out, is really about painting a narrative, getting full narrative affront. Rosemary Samuels. Half the time it's about getting full narrative affront. Because we can never believe anything on us say. We never keep to anything. Andrew Holness told us last year, if you all remember, we must prepare ourselves for a fast way into a digitalized society. And when everybody start talk, him roll back like him never see so, and I never saw him say. We see since the court ruled against NIDS being voluntary, Andrew is playing all sort of little maneuvers. The issue here, he cannot maneuver the legislation further because the court struck it down. However, he is still maneuvering the Constitution. What if he maneuvers this into the Constitution and then gets it on a referendum? That new Constitution overrides that court ruling. It is important that the people vote against this constitutional reform. It is not that we should stay with the monarchy indefinitely. It is that this government, this regime, is not the one to rip up what we currently have. Given that they show no respect for it, we have so much examples. The one in front of our eyes, it's everything that is going on in our parliament for the last few weeks. Quotes Noreen. Given what has been going on for the last few weeks, show that there is no regard for anything that does not serve their personal and business ambitions. A government who just came out of an election, bruised and battered, promised during the election campaign that going up and down the country, I've heard the people and I'm prepared to listen. How do you expect us to believe that when there is a brawling issue in our parliament, a brawl which the prime minister or his wife can bring under control as head of two of the arm of our constitution? None of them will speak to us. Many members of the civil society and commentators and experts are writing on the issue. Nobody will budge. When it was about Juliet, then the issue was misogyny and sexism. Nothing in Tom Tavares' article suggested misogyny, ageism. I wonder if Babsy Grange is still alive, Minister of Obia. I wonder if the Minister of Obia is still alive. Women and Gender Affairs. A catfight, my dear, is in Parliament. You mean nobody's going to talk to us? Nobody's going to give us any explanation? Nobody's going to draw a line? Let me just take a break. Somebody's at my door. Thank you very much and welcome back. Mr. Tim, you always pop up in my Facebook galangin and I never used to trust it, but me try and order something from it and it just comes to them real. Me the thing, I just one of them Facebook hacker. But back to the Prime Minister and his wife and our legislature and executive. Babsy Grange don't seem to see anything that is going on in this situation. Once they come out, all of them come out and defend Juliet. It's all over and done. Nobody else is being hurt in this. Nobody else is being maligned in this. Nobody else is being disrespected in this. If you are to go by the standard of their silence, it is why nothing is working in Jamaica. How do you expect to continue to steal from the education budget? Florence Hamilton. Continue to expect to steal from the education budget, but you expect better results, and you're not putting in anything to get the better results. Let me explain to the Minister of National Security and the Ministry of Education a way how you might be able to deal with this violence in our school or outside of our school, O'Neill Gale. I still the Blackwood. In Britain here, especially in London, a system is used for troubled school. Because on Jamaica alone, these things happen. The issue is our country just let things get out of control without putting measures in place to prevent things from escalating. Turot, good morning. And what is done in the UK here is the schools where you expect these things to happen, where these troubled issues are, then you put policing outside those schools in the evening. Some of those schools, JC, Wagwan, welcome, bro. Altair, good morning. Some of those schools, sometimes you even have police presence on them. And Ramsey, you can't have this ongoing riot in our school environment, and there is no system of how to deal with it. There needs to be a child safeguarding link up in our system with the police service, the fire service, the school system, Ministry of Health, all of these places that deal with children. You have to have a safeguarding link up, and you have to have a system in place where you have violent intervention in schools. It's a continuing escalation of violence and stabbing in our schools or en route from schools, especially in the corporate area. So to the new commissioner, loving and caring, a part of your police deployment, if you are doing your report and collecting your intelligence, you are aware of the troubled schools, the schools where it's likely for a brawl to kick off in the evening. So you bike police them and your bicycle police them. Stepping up patrol in those areas for a 2-hour period when school finish in the evening. Veteran, Wagwan. Maybe commission a way to deal with these brawl and school compounds and en route from school. You know where the hotbed areas are. We regularly see these videos circulating across social media. You know the schools that these brawls are related to. Britain have a system, try to copycat it. Make sure those schools which are seen as troubled schools for violence or so on, then there's a police presence in and around those schools at the end of the school cycle in the evening. If there is police presence need to be on some schools, it is necessary to have that protection rather than having children being stabbed. If we have to have a system of searching children, Ministry of Education and Ministry of National Security, a safeguarding team need to come together and look at ways. Pamela, how are you? And look at different preventative measures, Ministry of Education and Ministry of National Security, as to the preventative measures we can put in school, Georgia Dennis, to control the flow of violence and stabbing and brawl in our schools. We've lost it across the nation. At least let us try to pull back control in our education system. Because if our education system continue on this trajectory, if those who are going to take over society in the next 10, 20 years are having these violent brawls, can we imagine our direction for the future? Sorry. Ministry of Education and Ministry of National Security, as part of two of the safeguarding arms, need to come together and put measures in place to prevent the escalation or the continuation of serious violence in our schools. Oh, it's coming like pollen start blow through my window already. Sorry. The video that I saw, it was brutal. I didn't really see any adult intervention. I just see other fellow schoolers cheering and jeering. Only until the youth was stabbed, Marcia Garnett, that some of the children, some of the girls thought it had gone too far. Lovable Bravo, good morning and welcome. But this is why we need replacement, Lovable, of these people who are not listening. It is why nothing is happening, because they seem to be lack of ideas and willpower. A lot of us out here are talking to them. Experts like Rattigan and those people are talking to them. Free advice, advice for free, JB. And these people just turn a blind eye and a deaf ears to everybody who is offering advice. Say, do this, do that. I mean, as a part of your national security team, when you have a particular escalation of crime or a troubled area, what you do, you look to neighboring countries or your international partners if they are going through same or similar issues, and the mechanisms and strategies they use to deal with it. When crime was getting out of control in London, London looked to a crime commissioner in New York that really brought crime down in New York. Michelle Lewis Wilson. The bigger part of our problem in Jamaica, politicians do not have, one, care, nor two, willpower to do anything that will benefit the people. It is not hard, especially across the corporate area, for the police commissioner and commanders of several regions that know They know their school communities. Is there a communication between the police, the local police, and the troubled schools? Because these things can't be just seen in isolation here, there, and everywhere. You have to look at the thing holistically. It is why Zozo does not work. Because you're here and there. You're not looking at crime holistically as across the country and how we can implement a mechanism, preventative measures across the country. Not in that area I implement a drive out strategy, because this is what SOE and Zozo does. It's not even a containment strategy. It's a drive out strategy. This is why the crime gets into areas which were once very peaceful. Urisalski, Precious Island, SARS areas. This is why you see crime is becoming prevalent into areas which were once peaceful, because when them go in our community, they don't suppress the crime within that community that they implement the Zozo. What it does, it drives the criminals to another community for refuge, and thereby go in there, go take up a foothold and extend them gang within that community. Adopt the British system. You know where the troubled schools are. Step up patrol with your motorbike and bicycle police in and around those schools at the end of school for a 2-3 hour period. I'm sure if that is deployed, the brawl and the violence we see on our streets. Sorry, my hay fever really start irritating me already. The violence and brawl we see on our street are sometimes in our schools. Measures are needed to be put in place. These are not the days when we have principal will look over our eyeglass and the whole school falls silent. Those teachers don't exist anymore. These are not the days when children were afraid of teacher and afraid of parents. These are not the generation we're encountering anymore. So we have to look at new ways how to deal with new problem. Take out the police them out of guard room, sir. Because they nah do nothing in there. Take them out of station. They nah do nothing in there. Put them on the street. Let them go and do their policing job within the communities. Jamaica don't do community policing. You don't see your police until things pop off and done. At that time, them come. But if there are troubled communities, tensioned communities, problem communities, and you have regular police patrol presence in those communities, it goes an awful long way to stem the escalation of violence within those communities. Make it make sense, Stevie. Good morning. The problem is You don't see for the last 8 years this government nor the Ministry of National Security really put in national measures to fight crime. Again, Sunshine says this is something that is very much needed. Conflict resolution skills. But how we're going to reach to them standard that when our education budget get raided to the tune of billions, from Grace McLean to Roel Reed, Vic Spinnock, Kim Brown Lawrence, Andrew Holness, and what's his permanent secretary? Fayetteville and Fair permanent secretary, Dr. Cassantro. It's a continuous raid of the education budget, Pari Maria. And every day you see the breakdown in our education system. But yet the government is asking to produce better results when they have raided the education budget. They have not upgraded our school systems to meet modern day education. Them thief more out of the education budget than them invest. They don't see the need to invest in children with challenges. They almost leave them by the wayside. We need a whole system overhaul. The problem is the government is not willing to have a public conversation with the people. The diaspora issue is an example of how one-sided the government is. The government don't want to deal with us all as Jamaicans. This current government want to deal with us as JLP supporters. But we have to look at the system in our school. It is not serving at the moment. Our teachers have lost control of the education system. Therefore, there's the need for other mechanism to deal with the issue of violence. Florence Bennett. We can no longer depend on the teachers when it comes to control the escalation of violence in our school. In our days, principal have everything under lock. From teacher to every very last student. Principal have the whole away under lock. Them days they're done. Knives are going into our schools regular. There have to be a way where we deal with this particularly escalating problem. Too many children have been injured and school compound or on their way from school. So it's time the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Health, and all of these people, they come together with a proper safeguarding team that really look at how we can tackle crime and violence in our school. Because all of these different arm of government that deal with children, you need to have a join-up thinking strategy. But not now working in Jamaica, truth be told, because they're not listening to us. They're only doing what they want to do. Remember, what country I run. Nigel, come back yet. Anybody see Nigel? Because until Nigel come rectify the nonsense, what country I run without money, don't? I wonder who them a borrow from to run the country. Nobody know if Nigel fixed the budget yet. We're coming here, nobody had talk about the budget anymore. The budget fixed. Can't remember a long time now, I not watch Parliament because of John Sinclair morning. Because sometimes I really can't listen to Andrew them. Nobody know if the budget fixed. Carlos, you're there. Beat and teach. Debbie, the budget fixed. I got something there. I got put up my PayPal and start beg. Them love when you beg, Debbie. Them not love get nothing free. Them love when you beg. Them love when you harass them. Debbie say fix my back foot. Just for one little tap on the like button. Them a wait for me getting a fix over the little like. Or them a wait for me come with my begging bowl. I go soon start put out begging bowl because you look like you're not entertained by the begging bowl. Beat and teach say no. Budget no fix all no. So we country run broke. I who them a borrow from? A trust country. I trust Jamaica walk and trust beat and teach. Because if budget no fix, lawfully they can't spend, they don't have nothing to spend. Tony said the right thing, yeah. If the budget not fix, they don't have nothing to spend. So who them a borrow or trust from? How the civil service them a go work, Juliet Shakes? How the civil servant them a go pay the taxi driver? The teacher them will hold taxi driver from when? How them a go pay a taxi driver? The police them we sit down a guard room a yarn for hungry for a month. Maxine Cummins. How them a go manage? There was an article on Hot Off the Press say them give back SSL some of their money. Me see one article say 200 SSL people, including Bolt, still left to get their money. I think that's Sharon Peart, how are you? The last article, me see. But all of the crime and stealing them silent span. Because the same way them not answer anything about the how much 100 million when Nigel use to prop up him friend and him politician friend them with tax administration money paying for empty buildings. You notice for Nigel to respond to them to report there. Because I know the budget for one of Nigel problem, you know. Nigel think to say he can go hide. And when the argument done, but F thing or rather, and TAJ, then he can come back out and act like it never happened. A whole heap of scandal happened under Nigel. Nigel know about SSL. And Nigel make Andrew take out for him money. And then Nigel allow a whole heap of Jamaicans, including Usain Bolt, money to go down the drain. The report when Nigel say never read. Nigel only was lying to us, so Nigel never read the report. Why Andrew take out for him money, Nigel? Huh? Why Andrew take out him money and you stay silent until the FC? Because remember at first Nigel was pretending he didn't get a report. And the FSC, so they sent a report to Nigel, and at that time Nigel claimed he go search and find the cobweb report. This what Jamaican don't understand. That swirl with Terry Long Depan. I look for prop up for investors. A taxpayer money. A taxpayer pay for that poor with Terry Long Depan. I look business for private investors, not for Jamaica. Because Jamaica don't have nothing where we invest in, because they walk and sell out everything to their friend them. What they're asking us to do is to come invest with them private sector friend. It is you, the taxpayer money, pay Terry Long for swindle himself all the way from Europe to the UK. Now in Miami, last night them spout out the same holy tone deaf lies. Not once you see him and Kamina Johnson get on the stage and they address the issue that is going on with the global diaspora and their unregistered self and the registered takeover. Them tone deaf. Them tone deaf. That's what the whole of we do. Because Grace Kennedy and Dan Webby lead the charge people that don't know notice. Grace Kennedy and Dan Webby, where Grace Kennedy move a lot of them production out of Jamaica because them find other zones to do it cheaper. Grace Kennedy and Dan Webby lead the charge. For you, come invest more with them private sector friends, because it's nothing about you, the people. You look, when we have deportation issue in this country, the dirty High Commissioner man, the Jamaican High Commissioner man, were down there so. Him don't look left pan way. You could have called him mobile, your email. Because when I'm submitting, when we are doing deportation campaign, when we are doing anti-deportation campaign, we normally demonstrate outside the High Commission in London. And I particularly, in several cases, after emailing the letter to them, I walked into the office and I submit the letter by hand. All you get back from the Jamaica High Commission is an automated response to the email, not the letter that you submitted, an automated response that your communication has been received, and at deso it cut off. So don't be fooled, Jamaicans at home. Like I say, them care about we. None of the offices them where them have over here really care about we, other than the business of passports and them something that were commercially beneficial to them. But when it comes to us going through immigration struggles in this country, The Jamaica High Commission is not a place where we can depend on. Them don't listen to it. When we go there demonstrate, they move off at the ground floor and go upstairs and open the window, peep out pan we. I saw them treat we. When we go a High Commission, go demonstrate, not one would come out and address us. Not one would respond to our communication with reason. I always hear people get this wrong in public, that Britain and Jamaica signed a deal not to return people who came to Britain under the age of 12. That was a deal for one flight. It wasn't a deal in law. That flight, a lot of young men were on that particular flight that came to the United Kingdom very young. That flight also had a lot of deportee on it as well. That flight was a big flight also. But it wasn't something done in law. It was a deal between the Jamaica Corps at that time and the British Home Office for just that particular flight, not to take off the young men on that flight who came to the United Kingdom under the age of 12. It was never subjected to any further thing. That's why they're still on the same campaign. So a lot of people had a misunderstanding, think it was an indefinite thing. No, that below 12-year-old thing was subjected to that one flight only, where they took off a lot of young men off that flight. So don't think we really get any proper assistance from the Jamaican consulate other than like with passport, or because if I need a document notarized, I wouldn't go to the Jamaican High Commission. I just find a notary public in the United Kingdom and do it. But other than passport and visa, and we don't do visa really, it is just passport and birth certificate. Other than passport and birth certificate, we don't really get no assistance from them. And even the bureaucracy that you have to go through just for the passport and the birth certificate, we really don't get a service from the Jamaican High Commission. Do you know, as a Jamaican, if you're arrested in a foreign country, you must be given the right to contact the Jamaican consulate in that country? And the Jamaican consulate is to assist you where necessary. But they really do not care. Those services, all those services, they ought to be providing to you, the people in the diaspora, wherever they are. But as we're turning out to learn, it's more about the remittances, the investment, and more investment. If they are listening to us and they are asking us to come home, and we are saying to them, crime is a problem for us, healthcare is a problem for us, Sanjay Benjamin, even if we could struggle with the poor infrastructure, because most of we used to it, with foreign picnic, they may have to come back home with we and adapt to it. But the crime and the health care is a big worry for many Jamaicans. Because who probably could have come home and set up one like a small business and survive. But the crime and the poor, non-existent health care that we are asking you, improve on those issues. Those are what is holding a lot of us back from come home, especially since the global imprisonment of 2020 forward. A lot of us would have want to come home, Christine Gill. Do you know how much people run back to Africa? Even a lot of second generation Jamaican would rather dive to the continent rather than coming to Jamaica because of the crime rate, the overwhelming bureaucracy when you want to do anything, the extortion if you have to buy a piece of land, build one house, or build up one little business. So you can't be asking us to come home. You can't be running around asking us to invest. And then when we are asking you to deal with the issues that are the problem for us, deal with the issues that are preventing us from coming home and investing in Jamaica. You don't listen to it. You don't act like we don't exist. We don't act like beyond the remittances, we're not a part of Jamaica and we don't have right and standard. I saw all of the court, we don't tell we so. Other than the remittance, we don't have standing. But how then do you expect a partnership if you're not willing to listen to the other side? How will this partnership work if the other side don't know what they're going to get out of it? If the other side don't see a viable prospect for them, do you think the other side would want to get into it? Me hear Terry Long say the money where you use to buy one apartment in the UK, you can use it to buy how much apartment in Jamaica. I don't know about that, Terry Long. You see, true, they know say me a dunce. Then talk the numbers and thing them what they know say me don't understand. Douglas Allen, how are you? Then talk the numbers something them. Where they know say me don't understand what them attack say. So Terry Long know said that blow over my head, but me not believe him and me know say he don't go so. Me know say no go so. But in a church in Turkey anyway, and the pastor allow him to talk, so who am I to criticize what pastor allow a politician to say in church? Who am I to criticize that? Oh God. But my people, my hay fever kill me. The pollen and all of the same thing them start blow all over the place. Me say one me potato, me plant some potato to the palm my window ledge. So me say one of my potato start sprout today. We need to plant some tomato and some pepper as well. But on a garden, so any little bucket, me get to plant something, me just catch it from my window ledge where sun can't catch it. So, Jeanette McIntosh, how are you? It bothers me how Jamaican have a nice piece of backyard there. Or that they hope a pan in their yard where they can full of dirt and plant one whole heap of things in it. Shade Urban Iris, how are you? Godfrey Davis from New York, how are you? Verna Adams. But the thing is with Terry Long, when the people them in England, when no say no go so, making turn up and talk them thing there in front of them and get away with it. It just to tell you how the people them in the church submissive and willing to accept lie and story. But everything in the church a lie and story anyway. So them now go have any issue with it, because when you go to church you love lie and story. Especially if a revival church you go with God, or the prosperity church them, or the prophetess church them, where God talk to full crowd people at night time. But if we allow these politicians to continue tell we them serious lie and misinformation, this is why I tell you, I don't like bright people. I love the dunceness. Because you see, the whole of them people were in the diaspora, brouhaha, in a foreign, the unregistered one them. And them will claim that them are professionals and all of these sort of malarkeys, you know. That's why I tell them I don't like bright people. I get on better with dunce people, because bright people don't use them knowledge to improve your knowledge. Them use for them knowledge to beat you down and confuse you and make you think say you have a chip on your shoulder when you think. Just like how no say Kemi Bedinak, the white man wife, the black Nigerian white man wife. Come tell we say it hurt her to hear when we talk say Britain achieved them wealth out of colonialism and racism. Is a black African woman. I tell we so. A black woman we a draw with in a bed with our white man. I come tell we say it hurt her when we say Britain got its wealth from its roguery, its brutality, its barbarity, its pilfering, and its predatory behavior that it carried out under Queen Victoria reign, 3/4 of this globe, conquered by that brutal, bloodthirsty, deadly Queen Victoria. And Kemi Bedinak. But I left you to Dr. Shola, because I know when Dr. Shola done with you, Lloyd Williams, Evan Bradford. I know Kemi Bedinak. When Dr. Shola done with you, you will be like a battered jackfruit. Because I know Dr. Shola hear you. And Dr. Shola will never let such a cheap, disrespectful blunder to the murder and the onslaught we endured for 500 years go and challenge you racist coconut. And a whole heap of them bright people, yeah, we have in positions of power confusing with me not like bright people, unless it's bright people who are willing to tell the truth. But if it's the bright one, them we're under master arm when them I tell you how bright they are. Tell them to stick their Cambridge and Oxford's degree where the sun cannot see it, because it doesn't benefit them. Because if you can't stand up and talk the truth for what it is, Kemi Bedinak, if Kemi Bedinak can't stand up and said the history of Britain was a brutal past, it amaxes its wealth from its brutal colonial imperialism. How hard is that to say, Miss Bedinak? Diane Abbott said that countless and countless and countless of times. Diane Abbott would never Diane Abbott, Miss Badenoch, who paved the way for you, a coconut, to end up in our British Parliament. You should be ashamed of yourself and your culture and what you stand for. You should be ashamed, Miss Badenoch, to stand and utter such vile vitriol out of your mouth. Because what you're saying, Miss Badenoch, black people is crying wolf. Get up, black people, and go and do something for yourself. Nobody has done anything to you. That's disgraceful utterance, Miss Badenoch. And never we married to white man, ma'am. Don't ask us to be submissive to them. Don't ask us, Miss Badenoch, to appease white people when we speak. White people speak more brutally of this imperial system than I could have ever spoken. Have you ever listened to George Galloway, the Scottish man? Have you ever listened to Jeremy Corbyn, or recent leader of the Jamaica Labour Party? Have you ever listened to Ken Clark? Have you ever listened to Claire Shaw? Have you ever listened to Robin Cook? Have you ever listened to Tony Benn? Miss Badenoch. But this is a conservative twitch. It is a conservative twitch because a Labour Party, a black Labour Party politician, I doubt wouldn't have made such utterance. Not David Lummy, not Dawn, not Diane. Only the blood-sucking conservatives, or otherwise I would want to say at this point. Unbroken coconut. Don't impose your views upon us, my dear. As dunce as I am, Miss Badenoch, I am well read in law, political science, and halfway in economics. The fact that me dunce don't mean that me can explain that you're a fool, or you're a hypocrite, or you're suffering identity crisis. Don't draw the whole away. Great program, one of the greatest program on YouTube, the most, George Galloway, the greatest program on YouTube. Awareness Heart, good morning. So don't draw it in your mix-up, lady. You want to take the beating from master son. But don't draw we in a hit and tell we say we have low self-esteem like you. Not everybody's self-esteem is as low as Kemi Badenoch. No, my dear. A lot of us will always stand to the truth. A lot of us will always stand in this black struggle. A lot of us, Miss Badenoch, will not sell out the black struggle. A lot of us, Miss Badenoch, are true to the Pan-Africanism spirit. A lot of us, Miss Badenoch, will not be willing to sold out. People like me, Miss Badenoch, who are students of Professor Lumumba. People like me, Miss Badenoch, who are students of Dr. Arikana Chiambori. People like me, who are students of the greatest Julius Malema. You can't fool with Miss Badenoch. We know you talk to appease your white husband and your white community. But all we're asking, Miss Badenoch, don't draw we in a head. Say, I don't think, this is your argument, Miss Badenoch. I don't think I would say Britain got its wealth from slavery. Then that is subjective, Miss Badenoch. But when you come tell we say, it hurt you to hear people say, and the whole of we black people and liberal whites we talk about that system, said Britain amassed its wealth out of its brutality, its treachery, its pilfery. I mean, everything we said in relation to that, Miss Bedina, can be proven in history. So don't come out here, come say, a cry wolf feeling we have. No, man, keep your feeling to yourself. Say you think. Don't tell me what to talk. Say, don't come turn man the pan where tell us if you tone it down. When a politician get ruder and ruder. But I hope, Miss Badenoch, the black people them will vote for you. Here say, you think that what gave Britain its wealth, it was in their glorious revolution when them cut off one another head over which of the kingdom, Wales, England, Scotland, or Northern or Ireland, run the British United Kingdom monarchical system. And at that, you Miss Dunth Badenoch think to say Britain wealth and economic success came from their glorious revolution. Thanks for being a dunce, Miss Badenoch. Welcome to the Hall of Dunceness. There's a lot of us over here with dunce, but with no fool, Miss Badenoch. That's it from Global Television this morning. Thank you for joining us. Spring in England is one of the most confusing weather you can ever come through. You know the amount of different weather we go through since morning in London? 1 minute it's bright and sunny, then next minute rain and fall, next minute it cloud and dark outside. The weather in London from morning is a major confusion going on outside. No, the church will turn the other cheek, you know. The church high in on the corruption with the politician them. The church benefit from keeping the people's silence while collecting. The church's duty, you know, is to keep the people from rising up. That is the duty of the church, the state and church. The duty of the church is to contain your spirit. That was the duty of the church in slavery, and it still remains the same. The church is the containment strategy. It is through the teachings of the church why they were comfortable to remove the shackles and chains off you, because the church had done its job and continue so to do its job today, and is amassing a lot of wealth. They've just released the 14 biggest church in Nigeria. You don't want to see the Wahala. You don't want to see the Wahala. They've released the 14 biggest church in Nigeria. Nigeria's churches are football stadium sizes and bigger. You don't want to see the Wahala of Nigeria's 14 biggest churches. But ask yourself, how much is it that these 14 churches value? A black people money, you know? The amount of business. If black people wasn't fast asleep through the church, if black people weren't held down on a daily and weekly basis and it's been robbed by the church, you know how economically powerful we would be. We could have walked and buy out businesses in whichever country we find ourselves. Do you know how rich these churches are? Thank you very much for being here this morning. Join us later when we will continue to look at the sadness of our world. Good morning from Global Television.